So let us start with the practical demonstration for AWS S3 logs. Okay, so let us jump directly to the demonstration. Let me open S3 bucket. So for this demonstration, we will need two buckets. So the first bucket would be the one where the action will be performed, and the second one where the logs will be stored, right? So let us create two buckets. I am currently in region US East Ohio, that is US East 2. Let me create the bucket. So the first bucket would be the Shubham action, okay, or you can even write event. Okay, so this will be the bucket where event will be done, and there is no need for enabling anything. You can proceed and directly create the bucket. First thing is done. Now the second thing would be, let us create the another bucket that could be the Shubham logs v1. So this will be the bucket where the logs will be stored. Okay, both the buckets are now created and both are on the same region, that is US East to Ohio. You can confirm it from here as well. Okay. Now, second thing that we need to do is we need to go to the event bucket, go to properties. Okay. And here we need to search for server access login, which is by default disabled. We need to edit it and we'll enable it. Okay, now it is asking you for the destination. Now be cautious on this thing, right? Because when you click over here and even if you browse the bucket, by mistakenly if you select the same bucket where the event has been happening, you will be caught up with an infinite loop where, let's say, how it will work basically, let's say you try to access the bucket, it will generate a log, right? And then if you try to do any action, it will create log infinitely, and that will actually give you a lot of bill. So in order to avoid that, we are going to choose another bucket, that is the Shubham logs v1. In your case, it can be some another name. So what actually happens in the company, if you want to store logs, what we do is we create a central bucket for storing the logs, and yeah, and all the logs are being stored in that specific one, and the source has been defined in some another buckets. Okay, that was all. And here the second thing is the destination of the bucket. Again, US is to Ohio. Destination bucket, that is from, so basically the source is event v1 and the destination is log v1. Okay, and here it is asking you for the log key format. So the format would be something like this. It is showing you an example. If you want to go for another log option, you can even select it. You can see the log options over here. Even if you go to log delay delivery time, you will be getting the logs in such way. However, I would like to go with the first option and I want the log in this manner. So let me create it and let me save it. All right. And if you remember something, that while we were enabling the server side logs, it said that it will change the bucket policy, right? When you enable server access login, the S3 console automatically update the policy to include the S3 log updates, all right? So it got update in logs v1, right? So let us go to logs v1 and check what are the changes in the permissions. When I go to permissions and when I scroll down, you can see it has changed the bucket policy. And here it allowed S3 put object, and that could be put into this specific one. All right. And yeah, that was the change that was done in this log bucket. All right. Now, in order to demonstrate this thing, we are going to event bucket and we are going to upload few objects. Let me upload few things. So I have to thumbnails, or let me upload few screenshots. It would be easier. So I am now uploading two objects. Upload, done, close. Okay, so now two objects are been uploaded into event, and yeah, when now we need to go to logs, and here we need to wait for some times for the logs to appear. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, that the logs, in order to the logs to appear on the bucket, it generally takes 5 to 1 hour. So let us wait for some time, and I'll just resume the video from that instance specifically. All right. So yeah, let us wait for some time. So after a long wait, the logs are finally here. So it was 8:11 when I paused, and now it's 8:50. As you can see, the logs are finally present in the logs v1 bucket. Okay, it genuinely takes some time for the log to appear in the bucket, and those are stored here in the form of objects, and you can even check it here. And as per the date format which we selected, we are getting it in the same way. All right. So yeah, that was all about AWS S3 Access Log, and let us just discard these things. So let me first delete the event v1. completely. Since the bucket is not empty, we are going to empty the bucket first. Okay, bucket deletion completed. All right, bucket object deletion completed. Now I'm going to actually delete the bucket. So event v1 now finally put into deletion. Now let us delete the logs, and here, as I mentioned earlier, that logs are again here acted as an object, so we need to empty the bucket first, followed by the deletion of the bucket. Okay, so I hope you got a gist about S3 Access Logs and how you can actually use it and how we can make use of this thing, right? So yeah, that was all about this video, and see you in the next one. All right, thank you very much.